Dude, going to school. I can't imagine being Gen Alpha and going to school.
School, homework, detention, swirlies. There are lots of reasons why someone may not want to put their kids in a typical schooling environment. And there are lots of reasons why kids themselves hate school, especially if they live in the US. Maybe not the worst education system in the world.
Nah, you hate school everywhere. Even though I went to school in Europe, I still hated it.
But we sure are gunning for it. With all those reasons, it can make sense that someone may want to try out alternative schooling methods. The most popular being probably online schooling, which is something that a lot of people became familiar with in 2020. With online assignments and Zoom classes, it makes pretending to do algebra while playing Animal Crossing much easier. Then of course you have homeschooling, where your parents get to decide whether you're a dumb kid with no friends or a smart kid with no friends. But recently I found out there's
every person that I knew that was homeschooled was a little bit weird. Just a tad, not too weird, just a little bit.
a third option.
So we don't teach our children anything.
Lady, you have a tattoo on your fucking forehead. You didn't have to say it out loud.
Everything that they learn is in response to either their interests or their questions. We have no curriculum, we have no school hours. We really just respond whenever they want to know something and do.
So if they don't ever ask about math, then you just don't teach them math? That's kind of strong, not gonna lie.
Our best to make sure they really get it.
Free schooling or unschooling is like a branch of homeschooling minus the schooling. This website says it's an educational philosophy that relies on a kid's innate curiosity and desire to learn. In families that practice unschooling, students do not attend school and do not follow any set homeschool curriculum. So they typically don't have any courses, they just go about their day, and if the kid happens to ask a question like, hey, what's math? Then the parent would explain it and try to teach in the moment, which relies on the kid.
All kids care about is like food, Fortnite, Roblox. Yeah, I don't know. That is so bad. Ain't that shit illegal? Probably. Who's gonna enforce it?
To ask really good, insightful questions all the time, which they usually do. Mom, why is my booger purple? Also, during which year did the French Revolution end? She goes on to show us an example of the unschooling her son has been doing.
My son's 6 and it took some patience and not comparing myself to other moms, but this is his book. Look at this. Lamp, egg, jar, lion.
6 years old? At 6? I was writing in 2 languages at 6. Granted, it wasn't great. Like, let's be realistic. At 6 years old, my handwriting was really bad because you're just getting into like reading and writing like properly. But holy, what the frick?
This is him doing this by himself.
So her son is 6 years old and this—
You're so lazy, man. Again, I know this is illegal in America and everywhere else. This is like a fact. It's illegal to do this, but how are you gonna enforce it? Like, go into people's houses?
This is seemingly the first time he's ever written words down. All of the top comments are pointing out that this isn't very advanced for a 6-year-old, and I don't have a way to gauge whether it is or not, so I asked my mom, who homeschooled 5 kids. She said, well, there are way too many factors to consider. Are they a first child with a stay-at-home mom? Is their birthday at the end of the year? The wrong there. That's the wrong there, Mom. Yeah, that looks about like I would expect a 6-year-old to write. That doesn't seem extraordinary. And
My brother in Christ. At 6, I was writing in English and in German. Granted, it was a really weird transition, but like, I was learning. Yeah, I don't know that. Look, you're allowed to be at your own pace. Like, maybe he's a little bit slow, but like, what?
And of course, she closed it out with the smirking emoji because she thinks it's just a regular smiling emoji. And I am not going to explain to her why it's not. But regardless of skill level, I don't know that this can be called writing, not because of how it looks, but because she mentions he's been going around the house and copying these words down. So he can't write them from memory and probably doesn't know what they mean. He's just mimicking the lines of the letters. So this is more like drawing. She's also said that they teach in moments exactly like this. This is where they would educate while the kid is showing interest in the topic. But I don't think she did that.
This is him doing this by himself.
From what we can see, they didn't go into any more depth. There isn't any more writing aside from what he put there initially, so they didn't turn it into a lesson and have him practice. But they did stop to make a TikTok, so while he's not getting a proper—
Yeah, exactly. You picked up the phone to... You picked up the phone to do this, man. I hate people. I really do. Most kids can start to read and like think about spelling and writing. Like, look, I'm not gonna say this is really bad, but this is not on pace.
For education, at least his parents are using him to become social media influencers. Phew. My light just—
And my big fear about free schooling was that if my kids only went towards what they were interested in, saving all of their real estate only for things they're interested in, not cramming it with anything necessary, I was concerned that—
Look, I thought math was unnecessary, but you kind of fucking need it. Also, is that fucking lip filler? Are you fucking serious? Are you serious? Is that lip filler on your freaking face? Lady! Oh my god.
they would never be interested in things like reading and writing and math.
To counter this fear, have you tried teaching them reading and writing and math? It's really good for kids to learn at this age, and he clearly wants to. If you don't make an actual plan to educate them now, this is the level that they're gonna stay at. The motivation is only gonna decrease. Hey, Timmy, you wanna learn about the alphabet now? Egg. Timmy, it's not cute anymore. Egg. Timmy, you're 17. Egg. But something Timmy would wanna learn about is today's sponsor. Timmy. This video is sponsored by Opera. Whenever I'm editing on a time crunch, I have a tab open for music, a tab open for sound effects, one for PNGs, one for pictures of Bridge Apple, and then bam! Suddenly I have 33 tabs open at the same time. Opera is a web browser that offers a variety of features, including context-based tab grouping that makes your tabs cuddle together and save space. So no matter how disorganized your mind is, Opera makes it look like you have things under control. I'm a big fan of their built-in ad blocker that you just toggle on or off, no extra steps or extensions required. It makes everything move more smoothly, and the sidebar feature is also great because you can control your music and check messages without having to open more tabs or close out of the browser. It's just all right there. You can even customize your Opera browser.
They should give an Opera browser to the child that can't. They can only write egg.
Browser with their wallpapers. They've got animated ones, or you can add your own. And with their Aria feature, you can ask questions and get immediate answers from the web. It's also available in the sidebar, so always there if you need it. Or you can highlight text and it'll give you a quick description of the word or topic you're looking at. If you want to check it out, just use my link in the description and download Opera today. Thanks to Opera for sponsoring, and let's get back to the video. She says he'll ask about math sometimes too.
Same with addition. Mom, what's 7 plus 5? It will come at the right time.
Why does she
Little bro, he's 6. It's 6. He's 6 years old.
pause like this? The stare that she does is so scary. If my mom looked at me like this after I asked a math question, I would never ask one again. But maybe this is a one-off. Maybe she was just really excited, and typically she does turn questions like this.
Maybe she thinks he's like Einstein or something. It's just gonna come to him like organically. He's like, oh, 5 plus 7 is 12. Yeah, that makes sense.
Into a teaching moment.
When you see that somebody's bad energy and you don't like them because they're bad energy.
Oh, here we fucking go. Oh, energy. Oh my god, my energy.
What you're really saying is that they remind you of yourself.
What if that?
What the hell is on her forehead? Gentle. Is that gentleman? Gentlening? Gentleness? Yeah, gentleness. Yeah, I think it's gentleness. That's genital. What the frick?
You value of your
This chick drank her own. No, shut up. No, you did not. No, is that. Chat, that's so disgusting. That can't be real.
yourself.
What if that was a teaching moment? What if they were about to ask what trigonometry is? While she doesn't push her kids to
Good
learn
point.
things like reading and writing, she does make sure to give lessons on the really essential things.
There was a god named Kronos, and he was so afraid that one of his babies was going to take over his kingdom that he said, every time one of my sons is born, I'm going to eat that. I'm going to eat my own son.
Why are you teaching that to a 6-year-old? Excuse me? Why?
Learning the ABCs? No, we're too busy learning about cannibalistic deities. It's more important, and Kronos is really cool. He kinda aged. Her child is
Yeah, oh my god. You don't need to know what 5 + 7 is. You need to know about some irrelevant deity that people learned about 1,000 years ago. Like, what is the point?
asking questions here, but mostly because he doesn't know what the fuck is going on.
Why is he gonna eat his own son?
Because that's the nature of chronological or Chronos time.
Ma'am, this child is not learning anything from what you just said. Even if this kid understood what that answer meant, it wouldn't be an answer. Because her answer was just, that's just the nature of chronological time. Just because it does, that's how it is.
The kid doesn't even know what chronological means.
You
Yeah.
can tell he's completely lost, but it doesn't matter because this lesson isn't for his benefit, it's for hers. More specifically,
Yeah, for posting on TikTok, like, oh my god. Chat, we're gonna learn about deities.
it's for her business's benefit because she promotes her book and website at the end of it. On that website, you can get some of her free audiobooks, or you can enroll in her school workshop for money. So she can teach, but only if you're a paying customer. Maybe your kids will
The kid doesn't. The kid can't give her money, so she's not gonna give him education, obviously.
be able to read if they weren't so broke. Oh, you want to count to 100? Why don't you put 100 big ones right here first? Let's start
That's
there. One of the key
right.
points in unschooling is that the kids learn life skills and not just scholarly ones. For example,
I think the saddest part is even if someone, the chance of someone finding out that this person needs to have CPS called on them is so unlikely because these people probably don't go outside. I hope someone called CPS on them somehow.
how to cut vegetables.
I'm amazed. Technique, baby. Technique. Good job.
Is the point of this to prove that unschooling is effective here? Because
Technique,
I mean, good for you, but like, okay. It wasn't curling the fingers. I know, but like, chat. They're 6 years old. Why are they chopping vegetables with an actual knife? You're not supposed to be teaching them that. They need to like have like a baby knife.
baby. Technique.
I'm not even talking about the technique. I don't give a fuck. They're 6 years old.
Good job.
is the point of this to prove that unschooling is effective here? Because to me it just proves that over the course of 4 years your child developed fine motor skills, and I don't think unschooling is responsible for that. If anything, they should be way better at this. If they're at home doing it all the time, they should be Zorro at this point. She's got a literal baby waving a knife around, and the only
A real knife? Oh my god. A 2-year-old?
warning she's giving is in a sing-songy voice.
If you cut your finger off.
I'm surprised this child has their limbs intact. I'm not gonna lie. Are you serious? Waving? Like, that's an actual knife.
Na. So be careful. Be careful, my baby.
This kid does not have the motor skills or the mental capacity to understand how dangerous this is, especially when she's acting like it's a silly thing happening. I'm gonna go in that door. Don't go in there. Whoa, why not? It's very dangerous. You will probably die. I don't know, it sounds pretty awesome when you say it.
Most kids don't even understand anything until like 4 or 5 years old. Why?
Our demises.
Yeah, let's just sing a song. Yeah.
Those seem kind of important though. If only I could read. While I was looking into this account, I stumbled onto another unschooling mom.
Day one of unschooling, and I've got my kids
There's more than one. Are you shitting me?
helping me to clean the car out, teaching them hard work, taking care of the things that you love,
It's your car.
that you need, and also
You
the car.
lazy piece of shit.
Chores. You're educating them by having them do regular house chores. You can't claim that cleaning the car and learning hard work is an acceptable replacement for actual curriculum. Cleaning and taking care of things is something that kids should be learning on top of their regular education, not instead of. This parent said she
Yeah.
pulled her kids out of school to do this because she was unhappy with the public education system.
We have 52 days until I pull my child out of public school and start unschooling him. Lots of hands-on stuff to teach him these things, not just reading out of a fucking book, which is what's wrong.
Look, you're allowed to criticize public schooling. You're allowed to. That's totally fair game, but just so you can get free labor out of them, that should be child abuse in my opinion.
In public school. So
And while yes, there are a lot of things wrong with the public education system, I don't think that books in and of themselves are what's wrong with it. Books are usually pretty helpful, learning-wise. Not to be controversial, I don't know if she had maybe just a personal bad experience with books. You've got a lot of nerve showing up here.
It's been 5 years. Just let it go.
Let it go? You stole my college application essay.
Not this again.
I didn't get into Yale because of you.
I was in a bind.
Give me my paper back. And again, none of these are actual lesson plans. This is just hanging out with your kid, which is important, but so is being able to read a ruler. Very weird hat. Or even knowing what a number 2 pencil is. Why do they call it a number 2 pencil? Why don't they just call it a poopy pencil? She also claims that going to the grocery store qualifies as an unschooling lesson.
Now they're gonna go grocery shopping.
Oh my god. People like this need to have their kids taken away and given to someone who's like infertile or something, and they've been trying to like get a baby for like years or something. You know, like people who want a child and they're like infertile, or they had a disease that doesn't let them have babies anymore. I'm sure they would be happier with them. Yeah, oh, let's go shopping. Yes, queen. This is a lesson.
With me, and we're gonna learn about reading labels. We're gonna learn about math
To Aldi.
and money. When you're buying groceries, you need to make sure that the quality of it is good. So turn it over. See the prices on them right here? You typically want to make sure that you pick the lowest price.
These are just regular life skills that you should be teaching your kid whether they're unschooling or not. And how many times can a trip to the grocery store count as school? Because after a few, they're probably good to go, right? And next we have Timothy, graduating with a bachelor's in putting things in the cart and a minor in not buying rotten strawberries.
Wow.
Thank you. They said I couldn't do it. F the
Clappers.
haters. Look at me now. When explaining her unschooling plan, she said the main
By that logic, watching streams is school. Yeah.
things she'll be focusing on are starting a garden, great, and that she's going to be teaching them how to establish boundaries. You should be doing that already. And she's going to teach them how to bake and cook. You should do that already. And also sports.
also gonna be doing lots of sports. So he'll be in any sport, every sport that we can possibly think of, because we will now have time to do so.
Okay, so now that we've listed all the extracurriculars, what are you going to teach them?
I'll be taking them to the aquarium and zoos and learn.
Just taking them to the zoos and aquarium doesn't do anything. Like, that's not how education works.
Learning through life
So
experiences.
fucking dumb.
They're gonna learn through life experiences, kind of like everyone else who is alive. The only references she makes to actual school subjects are like this.
Day 2 of unschooling, and we're at the park learning how to have fun. But before you get your panties in a wad, listen. Yes, we're going to be doing reading and writing and math and maybe science. But
Maybe science. I like the maybe in front of science. Yeah, maybe science. I don't know. Science kind of dumb. Yo, you want to bet she's like a flat earther?
it's not going to look the same as traditional public school. It's going to be different.
These are just things that you should have mapped out before pulling your kids out of school. I never do anything for my kids without a plan, and I have 2 billion of them, and I make sure each and every one of them has a bed made out of galvanized steel with eco-friendly wood and and a mattress that I borrowed from my aunt. Based on some of her older videos, it seems like she made this decision due to personal issues she was having with her kid's school.
The other day, or a couple weeks ago, she sent home in his folder a piece of paper that had a signature side and a date side. And she told him, didn't say nothing to me. Told him to tell me I needed to take his homework out of his folder every single night, sign and date this piece of paper, and send it back to her every single day.
This video is
Yeah, your kid probably sucked at doing homework and it's on you. I had dickhead teachers too. That means he wasn't doing his homework and you weren't doing your damn job. You fucking schizo bitch.
been deleted now, but she's complaining that her son's teacher asked her to sign and date his homework every night, which is usually just to show that you're involved in your kid's schooling and that you understand what they're currently doing in school. And of all the things you have to take care of as a parent, this seems like one of the easiest ones, but she literally refused to do it.
Now, listen, I took that piece of paper out and I said, I'm not doing that, baby. I run a massive business through social media. I don't have...
I've run a massive business in social media, so now I'm gonna milk my kids, and I'm gonna make money off of them because now they're at home all the time, and people are gonna watch me take care of my kids. Oh my god, yeah, slay queen! You didn't have time to fucking curl your hair.
Time, literally.
I don't have time to help with my kids' education. However, I do have time to be completely and solely responsible for it. What's really sad about this is that her kid clearly wants her to sign. He makes a comment about some kind of reward system they have, some bonus he gets, and she can't be bothered. But isn't the point of unschooling to put your kid's individual needs first? Isn't the argued benefit that your teacher is your parent who knows you really well and has your individual best interests in mind?
Yeah, and also not being in overcrowded classes and being able to resolve issues really quickly. No, I understand what the reasoning is behind if you're like going to like a normal homeschooling situation. I understand. It sucks being put in a class of 32 kids, and if you want to ask the teacher something, they literally can't handle it. It's like, it's so weird, man. It's so weird. The sad fact is there's zero legal oversight for people that do this, for people know homeschooling is just a cover for abuse and people still defend it. It's not always like that, though. I met plenty of people who were homeschooled and they were normal. Yeah, it's not always like that. No, I understand that it becomes an issue because there's no oversight. Absolutely. Lack of socialization can be detrimental, though. It depends on the situation. Again, I've heard from people that were homeschooled that they had a completely normal social life. Like, yeah, you're not like, you still talk to other homeschool kids. They get into like little groups and stuff. And they get to play outside, but a lot of people I know who are homeschooled and are normal. Yeah, but a lot of them don't. Yeah, a lot of them do, but a lot of them don't.
If you couldn't do that for literal seconds every night, what makes you think you're going to be able to do it 24/7 every single day? For some reason, she titled this Teacher on a Power Trip, and the teacher is just asking her to do something that probably all the parents are asked to do. It's a very simple instruction, and I thought that those were important to her.
Teaching them how to follow instructions.
Those who can't do teach, I guess. The way she describes her unschooling plan just sounds like a pretty immature grasp of what it's going to take. It's almost like the kid is the one who came up with it.
Okay, so first we're gonna go to the park.
Okay.
And then we're gonna go to the swimming pool.
Then we'll do school.
I'm not done. Then we're gonna go to the grocery store and buy 500,000 Go-Gurts.
How is that school?
It's math, bitch.
Another concern people had with her unschooling was her kids losing the socialization they get at school. And her response was, oh, they don't need that actually.
We don't.
Yas, queen. Nobody wants to be socialized, even children. Man, I hate it when parents put their trauma on their kids because they had a bad experience. I hate that shit so much with a fucking passion. Oh my god, I hate people. They don't need that. People are dumb.
Actually need socialization skills. We need to know how to communicate, which you can do with your parents. We need to know how to connect, which you can do with your parents.
It's some low IQ shit. You guys know what I'm gonna say. I don't even have to say it.
And those are skills that you take for the rest of your life to make friendships.
All of the things
Yeah, yeah. Every single person you meet in real life is your parent. They're just like your parent. Stupid. Yeah, he's fucking stupid.
She's listing are things you learn from socializing. We don't actually need socialization. We need to know how to socialize, how to be social, how to interact with people socially in a social way. Her argument is kind of that you can get all the socialization you need from your parents and don't need to hang out with kids your age. And she believes that going to the grocery store is also a form of socialization.
There's so many ways you could teach your child how to be social. Take them on grocery shopping trips. Take them to go to the zoo, and teach them how to talk to people. Lead by example.
I had no idea that going to the grocery store was so beneficial.
That's not even how it works. Kids have to figure it out for themselves. You can't just have the parent hovering over them constantly. Kids don't behave like they do without a parental setting. Like, my parents let me go outside. I didn't act like I did when I was inside and outside the same way.
It's a math lesson, it's a social visit. It's kind of a one-stop shop, I guess. She also has this video, which isn't a great sign.
If the worst thing that happens to my kids from unschooling is not knowing how to socialize, I think they'll be fine.
Chat, what did we learn about people that can't socialize? They turn into maladjusted people because they don't know what to do. They become gay. Yeah, not being socialized turns you gay. VTubers, yeah. You're right. Tier 3 subs! Chat, I'd like to hope that all of you are socialized, okay? To some degree, okay?
I never leave my house and don't like people either.
She's like a freaking goddamn!
I'm still happy and successful.
And if she's leading by example,
Lead by example.
something tells me they also won't leave the house a lot. And it's kind of hard to practice the unschooling method and learn through life experiences when you aren't having any experiences. But I'm sure they'll never get tired of hanging out with their parents or struggle to connect with people their age in the future.
Hey, you want to grab a drink with us? If we go to Applebee's, I have a coupon. We were thinking like a club.
Ooh, love a good club. Very hard to get the mayo right, though.
No, like dancing.
Now you're talking.
Why are your pants so high?
What happens when you send your kid to a classroom for 8 hours a day? That is outside influences.
That's
impacting
aggressive.
your child. Because what they're going to learn isn't just coming from you. Beliefs.
Look, I'm of the opinion that let God sort them out. I don't know. Like, you can't really help people like this.
They're going to have aren't just coming from you.
Isn't that a good thing, though? Your kid shouldn't only believe and think things that you think. Shouldn't they get a bunch of different opinions and beliefs from people and get a variety of perspectives? If your idea of...
And kids naturally don't want to be like their parents. It's like in their nature to rebel. That's like an actual biological instinct. When your parents are like, do this, and you're like, I don't want to do it because you told me to. Like, that's actually natural. Animals do it too, on like an obvious like biological level.
Schooling is making sure that your kid thinks exactly like you. That sounds less like education and more like conditioning. And unschooling is supposed to be about specializing your kids' education based on their specific ideas and interests. You can't tailor education to an individual if you don't see them as an individual. Also, the successful business she keeps referring to is a pyramid scheme.
I'm very proactive inside of my profession and my career of being an entrepreneur.
Yes!
They're likely going to follow that
Let's
path
go!
because they're going to see how successful.
So,
And
at least she can teach them shapes. A little bit of this reminds me of how I was raised. Again, I was homeschooled. You probably didn't know that. Just kidding. It's probably the only thing you know about me. Sorry, okay?
Really?
Sorry I'm so mysterious and suave. Sorry I'm so shampoo coated. But my homeschooling wasn't really in an attempt to make me more prepared for the world or because I couldn't necessarily handle a typical school environment. It was more because normal kids are secular and besties with Satan. Sometimes they say things like, hey, you should smoke this, or fart, and both of those are equally
chat, farting is bad.
as bad. The sole reason for my being homeschooled was religion and being able to limit the amount of interaction I had with the outside world, whether it be people or media. I wasn't allowed to watch PG-13 movies until I was 22. Just imagine
What? Lady, are you alright?
being told you're not allowed to watch Jumanji, the Kevin Hart one, as a tax-paying citizen. And I think I would be better at a lot of
I'm sorry, girl.
things if I'd been able to interact with people my age before I was basically in my 20s. I missed out on a lot of skills like how to interact with people, how to not perceive every human being as a potential threat, how to order a milkshake at Sonic without breaking down in tears. Isolating your kids and making yourself the only
Surely it can't be that bad.
presence in their life is probably less about what's good for them and more about what's good for you. And it's completely normal to have anxieties about where your kids are or how outside sources are going to affect them, but that doesn't mean that you should stop them from interacting with outside sources at all. That just sounds like you have anxieties that are being passed down to the next generation, like an heirloom, like a little—
That's what I mean. You're trauma dumping on your kids. I hate that so much.
little apprehensive piece of furniture. You okay, man? Yeah, just some chest pain. And I'm not saying you shouldn't homeschool your kids or do alternative schooling, because I'm sure a lot of kids would benefit from something like that. But just don't do it bad. Just do it good. Otherwise, your kid's gonna end up like me in 20 years. And you don't want that. That is a threat.
Yeah, you don't want them to be a YouTuber or content creator. Chat, I was not homeschooled.
Anyway, guys, I gotta go to the grocery store for the 5th time today, so I gotta go.
Oh?
Fiction is true the same way numbers are true, I would say. Like, you know, if you have one apple and one orange and one banana, the commonality between all of those three is one. And you might say, well, is one as real as one fruit? Is the abstraction one as real as one fruit? And I would say, it depends on what you mean by real, but representing things mathematically and abstractly gives you incredible power, and you could make the case that the abstraction is actually more real than the phenomena that it represents.
Was that Jordan Peterson talking as an onion? Chat, education is important. We don't want to end up as content creators. I am educated, unfortunately. I'm just dumb.